Hit the road, Jack. Time to unpack. So, this is what the Rebbe would often, every year, at the end of the high holiday season, after Simchas Torah, the Rebbe would say, now, the service of the time is called V'Yakov halach ledarko. And Yaakov and the Jewish people, like Yaakov and Yisrael, where we have two names, Yaakov and Yisrael, he says, it's time for us to go on our way. We're talking about after a month long of being together, celebrating, praying, worshiping, eating, drinking, dancing, inspiration galore. The month of Tishrei, the Rebbe would say, is like a suitcase in which we pack inspiration for the whole year. And then we extended release it throughout the rest of the year. We neatly pack from the month of Elul, the 10 days of Tshuva, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, Simchas Torah. It's all this whole one big relationship, like a wedding relationship that we have with God, from the courtship to the marriage and the intimacy. And now starts real life. Now's the honeymoon. Real life. This month, upcoming month, is where we manifest and channel all that energy into real life, into the day-to-day setting and day-to-day chores in our relationship with God. So, the Rebbe would start off the theme of Hit the Road, Jack. In Hebrew, it's V'Yakov halach ledarko. There's a pasuk in the Torah. There's about Yaakov after he met with Lavan. Long story there, but the end of the story is Yaakov halach ledarko, and Yaakov went on his way. And now, says the Rebbe, it's our turn to go on our way, each to their own place, after the incredible inspiration of the holiday, and release it slowly but surely as needed. And the Hasidic teachings and perspective always give an incredible, beautiful twist on things and makes your heart melt. One of my favorite teachings is about the LuLove, the true love of the LuLove, where we shake the LuLove. The esrog represents our heart, represents God's heart, and the LuLove is the channel, the pipeline that draws down God's love into our heart and our love into God's heart. And we shake it to wake us up a little bit. It's one of my favorite teachings about this holiday. And then we sit in the sukkah, which is a hug. True love, true LuLove. So, what I'd like to share with you now is a beautiful thought which the Rebbe spoke to children related to this holiday, and that'll be a wrap for the holiday. And the Rebbe spoke and said, everything in this world, everything, from the trees and the birds and the bees to the military army, every single item, every single experience we have in this world stems from a spiritual source and root. The Rebbe says unfortunately, there is something called an army and a war and military, where people have to defend their land and their country, etc., etc. Says the Rebbe, when in the world-like army, in the world army view, there's violence, there's hurt, there's pain, there's suffering, there's bloodshed. And the Rebbe used all these words in Yiddish. So they have, when they win a war and they want to demonstrate their joy and their victory, they have these special army barracks in which they celebrate, and then they take out and display their rifles and their bullets and all their ammunition. The Rebbe said their daggers, their swords, their knives, their tanks, their grenades, all kinds of hard metal ammunition that can hurt, maim, or kill. another person. And that's how they demonstrate the victory. Says the Rebbe, that everything has its root in the world of the spirit. Why is there all of that in the physical world? Because in the spiritual world, we also have a war, and we have our ammunition, which we display in our victory. And that is, this is the true war of a Jew, is an internal war. It's an internal war, an internal battle. It shouldn't be waged outside of our bodies. It's a war that we wage within to overcome our temptations, to overcome our inclinations, and to strengthen ourselves, our neshama, and the good within, to do the right thing, to do God's will, says the Rebbe. And we go through that war, we wage that battle on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur, and we recreate our relationship with God, and we ask God for forgiveness. And then when we win this war, we celebrate on Sukkot. We celebrate, and the Rebbe said in beautiful detail, the Rebbe said that when we win this war, we go to our military barracks. What is that? The military barracks is the sukkah. We go to our sukkah and we take out our ammunition. What's our ammunition? The Rebbe said instead of a rifle, we take out a LuLove that stands tall and proud. Instead of the bullets and the grenades, we take out an esrog. Instead of the swords, the daggers and the knives, we have the hadassim and the aravot, the myrtle and the willow branches. Says the Rebbe, these are our ammunition, and we hold it high with Jewish pride and with gratitude that we won the war. And this is the way a Jew celebrates. This is the way a Jew is meant to wage a war and celebrate it with a blessing. And we say, Baruch Atah Hashem, blessed are you, God, Elkeinu Melech Olam, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, which you sanctified us with your commandments. V'tzivanu, and you gave us this opportunity and this commandment to make this blessing and to be in the sukkah and to celebrate our victory in our internal battles. Says the Rebbe, the most beautiful part of this is that when an enemy is defeated in the outside world, it's sad and it's humbled. When our enemy, our evil inclination, our Yetzer Hara, is defeated, says the Rebbe, he rejoices. He's happy with us because the evil inclination, says the Rebbe, is just a messenger from God. It's an angel that is not evil in its own right. It's just sent by God on a mission to strengthen us, to give us opportunities to overcome challenges which strengthen us, which fortify us, which make us stronger and reveal hidden strengths that we didn't know that we had. So when we overcome and do not listen to the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, says the Rebbe, the Yetzer Hara, our enemy, is happy, rejoices along with us. That's a little snippet of the way the Jewish perspective, the Hasidic perspective, where Hasidus illuminates the holidays and our mitzvahs and our life. And you can find out more on Chabad.org, TheRebbe.org, and every Jewish bookstore that sells Hasidus. That's it for today. We're going to move on, hit the road jack, and time to unpack for the rest of the year. Until next time.